What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com. And in the last Dynasty video, we went through our off-season video for Season 2. We had a great second season. The screen and shoot was alive and well. Our passing attack was insane. Our Tampa 2 was really good as well. And we won the Big East title. We were back-to-back. But we went through our recruiting. We done some position changes. We moved some guys around. We assigned jersey numbers, all that good stuff. And today, we're going to do our preseason video for Season 3. It's hard to believe it, but we're already in Season 3 with Syracuse. So we're going to go through our schedule. We're going to look at redshirting. We're going to look at recruiting, a bunch of good stuff to look at. So let's start off with our schedule. Now, I've already made the schedule. Week 1, I always like to have an open date. Most teams do that. But we're going to start off our season with the road trip to number 15, Virginia. Now, if you remember last season, they came up here and beat us badly. Maybe we can get a little payback, but I like the home and home idea with here. Now, we're going to take on Navy, our first home game. This was a request from somebody who commented they wanted me to play against a triple option team. Well, there you go. We're going to take on Navy, and then we're going to head back on the road, and it doesn't get any easier. We're going to head down to Norman, Oklahoma to take on the Sooners. 6th in the country. Really excited about that one. One of the reasons why I picked this one actually was because I'm a big Tennessee fan and we are going to Oklahoma, and I'm actually going to that game. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm really excited about this game as well to see if we can come out of this 3-game slate with at least a couple of wins. Next up, our conference schedule. We're going to go to Connecticut, West Virginia as at home. Then we got at Pitt, Rutgers, Cincinnati, open date at Louisville. And then we're going to take on Akron. We're going to bring them back on the schedule. I figured this will be fun. They're still ranked, so they're doing something right. I guess they haven't tapered off too much since we left. Now, the last time we played them was in the Season 1, and they came up here, or we went over there, and they're coming up here now, so it's going to be a home game. And then we're going to head back to our conference schedule, and we're going to finish off the season with the game against South Florida. So that is the schedule. 3 ranked games, hopefully, at least at the beginning of the season. Who knows where they'll be by the time we play them. But Akron, then you have Oklahoma and Virginia. Should be a really fun and interesting schedule, to say the least. All right, let's go to redshirt players. So starting off, quarterback. So I kind of debated on this, what to do here. We got 3 freshmen. Now, Westerman is an impact player. He's our starter. That's obvious. But we got 2 freshman quarterbacks right here that are really good. J.D. Hill, he's more of a balanced quarterback, a bit of a dual threat. You can tell by his speed, 74 speed. But then we got Charles Johnson, who's got an incredible arm, insane arm. 94 throw power, 88 accuracy. I mean, just one of the best arms in the country. However, these 2 are freshmen. And then we got a 3rd freshman, Trey Sledge, which is a great name, by the way. What I've decided to do is one of these 2 guys is going to be the future of our offense. We don't know which one. Just whoever kind of pops up and just starts playing well, that's what's going to happen. But I want to have a 1-year difference between the 2. So if I redshirted both of these guys, they would stay as freshmen. I like to have one be as a sophomore, then one be as a freshman next year. And then I don't mind redshirting this guy at all. So the debate was, what do I do with these 2 guys? So what I'm going to do is we're going to redshirt Johnson. We already have a pocket passer in Westerman. So I'm going to use J.D. Hill. I'm going to try to use his legs at least a little bit. We may give him a formation, a package of some sort. But I think that's just a good idea, at least to separate these 2. Now, what are the odds of these 2 guys being in our program for the next 3 years? Probably small. I can see one of these guys wanting to transfer out because one of them really just took over the job. But we will deal with that at that time. But until then, I'm going to prepare to where one's a freshman and one is a sophomore next season. So Hill will be backing up for Westerman and Hollinsworth behind him. Halfback, we're not going to redshirt anybody. Our most talented halfback is Jason Heath. And notice something a little different. I'm giving him number 44. We gave him number 3, but I was told by somebody that the number 44 is a big deal at Syracuse. I did not know this. I had to look it up. Apparently, a lot of the best halfbacks to ever play at Syracuse wore that number. So I think it's just fitting that I think Jason Heath has a chance to be one of the all-time greats here. And yes, we run a pass-happy offense, but we're going to give him the ball in more ways than one. Pretty much no different than that first season with Martin. He was just an all-timer for us, and I'm going to try to do the same with Heath. But I think it's a cool idea to give him the number 44. Let's see if he can hold up to that. Otherwise, we're not redshirting anybody. We can't. Then you got fullback. We don't have to worry about that. Wide receiver, we're only going to redshirt Kevin Gordon, a freshman. As you can tell, we got 4 guys ahead of him. We won't need him this season. We have redshirt opportunities with these 3 guys, but these top 4 players right here are our top 4 wide receivers. I'm going to need them throughout the season, so we're not going to redshirt anybody there. Tight end, now this is an interesting one. Look at this. So we have 4 sophomores. We don't have a single freshman, not a single junior, not a single senior. I like some separation. I like to have a couple freshmen, maybe 1 junior, 1 senior, that type of thing. We don't need 4 junior tight ends heading in the next season. So I had a redshirt opportunity. I could either redshirt Sanders or redshirt Bobby Smith. I'm going to redshirt Bobby Smith. No offense to him. I think he could be really good for us in another year or so. But Sanders is the real deal. He really stepped for us, especially towards the end of the season. So I want at least a little bit of separation. I'd love to have Bobby Smith be a sophomore next year, and we got some junior tight ends heading in the next season. All right, when it comes to tackle, everybody's redshirted, so we can't do anything about that. Guard, we got several opportunities. We got 4 newcomers. I'm not my mistake. 1, 2, or was it 3? Yeah, we got a sophomore from last year. So I'm going to redshirt this guard, true freshman, Marcus Brooks. As you can tell, we got 4 guys that kind of are about the same guard. And we got another freshman, and we got another sophomore. I'm going to redshirt him. So it just kind of came down what to go with. Pretty much what I decided here. You go over to their run and pass blocking. He has the worst pass block of the bunch. Marcus Brooks does. He's a much better run blocker. I mean, you can tell by his size, he's meant to just mow over people. But I'm going to redshirt him for now. And I always like to have 4 active guards. And that's what we got. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Center, we got a bunch of dudes here, but we can only redshirt 1, but it's a simple decision. We got true freshman Ricky Reed. We're going to redshirt him. Defensive end, I like to have 4 active, and that's what we got. I had 1 guy that we could redshirt, true freshman Ryan Holland. We're going to redshirt him. I think we're going to be fine right there. Defensive tackle, I like to have 4 active, so I'm not redshirting anybody here. Outside linebacker, I like to have 4 active, and pretty much that's what I've done right here with Ryan Jackson. We're going to redshirt him, but you're going to see something a little different when we go to the depth chart, what I'm going to do with a couple of these guys. Middle linebacker, we got several, but I'm going to redshirt just 1, Stanley Gibson. Him and Chris Hale are about the same player. You can look, they got the same speed, same strength, same awareness. One's got a little bit faster, one's a little bit stronger, things of that nature. But what we're going to do is just redshirt 1, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these other ones. So if you remember last season, Rodney Johnson was a great starter for us last year, but he didn't get to play every single down because he would just get very tired over the course of a game. And we'd always have our backup in there, whoever it was. So I think we need a solid backup behind him. So that's why I am not redshirting Hale, and I'm not going to redshirt Owens, and I'll show you why a little bit later. Corner, we got a possibility to redshirt Ford, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run some dime this year. Normally, I just stick to 4-3 and nickel, but I think we got 4 guys right here who can handle the dime package, and that's what we're going to do. Plus, Ford was great for us last season. I don't want to redshirt him. We're actually going to have him start, and you'll see that in the depth chart a little bit later. Free safety, we're not redshirting Coach. He's our best defensive player. That's not happening. Technically, he's our best player overall. Strong safety, we're not going to redshirt Waters. He started for us all last season. He's going to be our starter this year. Kicker, we only got 1. And then punter, we only got 1. We're not going to redshirt him. All right, so that's our redshirting. Let's go over to rosters. And let's look at the depth chart. Going to be pretty simple going across the board, but you'll see a couple changes. So Westerman and then J.D. Hill, the true freshman, will be behind him. Again, I'm going to give him a package of some sort. I'll figure that out. I think I have an idea what I want to do there. I don't mind him playing a little bit. That means it's obvious he's not going to be able to redshirt. You know, if you don't play a player at all, he doesn't record a single stat, then he will automatically redshirt, but I'm not too worried about that. I want to see him on the field just at least a little bit. Halfback, Heath, Massey, Price. It's pretty simple what I'm going to do there. Massey is going to get the nod over Price. We all know this because he has by far the best catch rating of the bunch. And Heath is not all that great, but I think it's doable. But he's so good at a bunch of other things. Fullback, we don't have to worry about it, but I do have one of my, this is my 3rd string tight end, Clint Dixon. Going to be behind a friend, even though you guys will never see this fullback position on the field. Wide receiver. So here's what I'm going to do for now. Remember, we got 4 guys that are all about the same, except Spencer is by far our best one. As we all know, last season, we had Dominic Meyer become the best wide receiver in the country. I think it's in our best interest to have our best wide receiver at the X position, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to have Spencer there. And then I'm going to have, if you've noticed, especially last year, my Z receiver or the guy on the far right, my number 2 guy, Doesn't get the ball a ton. It's just kind of the way a lot of these plays work out. But we'll see. You never know. Holloway may catch a ton of passes. But I always like to have at least some really tall dude or somebody really fast here at the slot position, the number 3 guy. And our fastest guy is Harley. The only little downside is his catch rating isn't the best in the world. So we'll see if he can handle that or not. But I'm more than willing to move some of these guys around if needed. And our number 4 guy is going to be Bennett. So we're going to do plenty of 4 wide this year. So he's going to get on the field quite a bit. So those are our 4 wide receivers. Tight end, Sanders is number 1. I'm going to have Jennings over Dixon. Yes, Dixon's got a little bit better overall. They got the same speed, but he's got a little bit better catch rating. I'm going to give him the ball if he's open. So we got a tight end. Actually, we got 2 tight end formations. Is ones from the last season, so nothing really new there. But Jennings is going to get the number 2 nod over Dixon. Offensive line. So left tackle, I'm going to have Nelson over Peterson. He's just a little bit better. If you come over here, the awareness is the same, but I think his pass blocking's better. Yes, his pass blocking's a little bit better, and as you know, we pass a lot. Come over to left guard, true freshman Andrew Dean, the big 5-star stud, 80 overall. Very obvious he's going to be our starter there. Center, we got Curtis Miller and Martin. Curtis done a good job last season, and this is his senior year, so it's pretty obvious we're going to put him at the top spot. When it comes to the backup, I'm going to have Miller get the number 1 spot just because of his awareness. Again, I think awareness kind of goes a long way with your pass blocking, especially with the high snap stuff. Trying to avoid those. Right guard, we got another true freshman, Jason Robinson. I'm going to have him over a redshirt sophomore. See, both of these guys are about the same, but Robinson's a little bit stronger. His awareness isn't as good, but his pass blocking is better. So I'm going with the best athlete of the 2. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he does okay with it. And if we kind of notice that he struggles, then we definitely have a good backup option with Harris there. Right tackle, pretty obvious, Jarrell Sanders is our go-to guy there at 78 overall with Pittman behind him. Left end, this is usually our sack leader. That's just the way this game works. I don't know why, but usually your left end tends to get more sacks than the guy on the right side. So I like to have speed over there. But we got John Peterson. He's a sophomore. We're in great shape there. And we're going to have Henderson behind him. But you notice we're also going to have Henderson behind Carlson, who's going to be our starting right end. Whoever gets tired, that's who goes in, which will be Henderson. So I got Henderson as our number 2 backup for both spots. And then we got Lewis. As we all know, defensive ends get tired very easily in this game. So we got Carlson at the other end. Defensive tackle, pretty simple. Bean, Butler, Wagner, and Larson right there. A lot of these guys get tired, so all 4 of these guys are going to play. So here's what we're going to do linebacker. A little bit interesting. So when it comes to left outside linebacker, this is very simple. Who our starter is. John Lawrence, the 5-star outside linebacker. This guy's going to be an absolute stud for us. Can't wait to see what he can do. And we're going to have right outside linebacker Steve Jackson behind him with Young behind him. The reason why I'm doing that is because I'm pretty sure I got Young as a starter on the other end, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, middle linebacker, Johnson, I think, deserves to start. I thought he played well last year. He's got the same speed as Hale, and he's got a little bit better awareness. Now, I'm controlling him the entire time, so am I wasting my time not playing Hale? I don't know. I'm not too worried about that. We'll just see. But anyway, these guys get tired easily, so both of them are going to be playing. So when it comes to right outside linebacker, we're going to have true freshman Henry Owens. He is just a much better outside linebacker than he is a middle linebacker. He's technically a 72 middle linebacker, but at right, he's a 78. So if I don't forget, maybe in the offseason, I may move him over there permanently. We'll see, because we already got some depth in middle. But he's going to be our starting right outside linebacker. And then I got Young backing him up. So Young's backing up at right, and then we got Jackson backing up at left outside linebacker. Next up, corner, we got 3 guys that are 80 overall. So what I decided to do was I want to leave David Ford at his natural position, which is on the right side, the way we look at it when we're playing the game. He played incredible last season. He's a first-team all-conference player. We're going to leave him there. I'm going to have Sanchez be our new number 1 guy on the left side. He's also the smartest of the bunch, so I'm perfectly happy with that. And our nickel is going to be Nick Newton, because we need speed right there. We do a lot of nickel blitzing, things of that nature. But then we got Brian McAfee, who played quite a bit last year. So we're going to be able to run a little dimes, which I'm excited to see. So anytime a team goes 4 wide, 5 wide, we're going to use some dime. Free safety, simple, coached, best player on the team. Then Bradley and Smith behind him. Then you got strong safety, Waters, of course, with Keys and Parker behind him. Kicker, very simple. We got 1 good kicker. Then we got 1 good punter, true freshman. Really good pickup for us. 76 overall. That's his starting position for the next 4 seasons. Kick returner, what we're going to do is have Harley and then Ford and then Massey. We have another cornerback that's really fast, but I'm a big believer in having guys who can catch the ball. We don't need any drop balls. That's the last thing you need on a kickoff, especially punt return, because punt return's the same thing. We got Harley, Ford, and Massey. So you come over here when it comes to catch rating, we can't afford to have Ford be our number one guy, even though he's much faster. So we'll just see what happens with all of that. So I'm pretty happy with Ford, Harley, Ford, and Massey as my lineups there. So when it comes to kickoff starter, pretty simple kicker. And long snapper, I usually have a backup as my long snapper. Backup center, I should say. Let's go to our team captains. What you do is you go to your roster, you sort it by all, and then you go over to your awareness and you sort it there, and it's usually your seniors who are smartest. So here is a senior defensive tackle. He's the smartest dude on the entire team. And guess what? He's a team captain. And the offensive captain is whoever's the smartest senior on the team, which is Jarrell Sanders. There you go. He is our offensive captain. So there are your two captains for the season. Marcus Bean and Jarrell Sanders, two behemoths of individuals. So that's pretty cool to see. Let's go over to program standards. We are in great shape here. We got this bar down to next to nothing. It would be nice to have a backup or two get in trouble this year so we can lower that bar even further. We'll see if that happens. 99 times out of 10 is usually a starter, but you may get lucky, and hopefully that'll happen for us. I'd like to get that bar down to nothing so we can use those points even further for other things. While we're here, let's talk about the offense really quickly. I switched up the playbook a little bit. So you notice down in the overlay, I just call it spread offense. It's screen and shoot, but it's going to be a mix of what we've done in the first season. Do a little P.E. Reed now that we got a halfback that can run the ball well. But we're also going to do our shoot stuff. We're going to do some screens. We're going to do some mesh. We're going to do some drags, shallows, things of that nature. So it's going to be a little hodgepodge of things now that we got Westerman, who can make tougher throws in terms of hitting those drag routes. I think we're going to put it on him. We'll see if he can handle it. But you notice at our playbook, we got a couple new formations. So shotgun split, that's a 21-4 personnel formation. We got two decent halfbacks, Massey and Heath. I want to get them out there. Plus, we got some good stuff in that formation that I think you'll like. Gun Ace Twins, great formation for us. We got to keep it. I included gun normal instead of wing tight end. Pretty much the same thing, except if this one has the tight end on the line. And there's some extra things I want to use in this formation that I think we're going to really enjoy. Wide trips is staying in there because it's got mesh, it's got a couple screens, and it's got a good third and long play we're going to keep. Trips over, kind of the same thing. So what we're going to do is the next big concept we're going to use a whole lot. If you remember last season, what did we do? Screen, over the top. But we're going to throw in some mesh, some drags, some shallows. And these formations right here all have pretty decent mesh and just shallow concepts, shallow cross and such. So we're going to include that quite a bit in our playbook this year. Then you go to tight, that's pretty normal, then spread, then trips, and empty. So pretty much split's the only new one technically other than normal. So I'm really excited about the offense. You're going to see a couple new things. You haven't seen me rant in a while, but the heart of the offense is still there, no doubt. We're going to try to put up a ton of numbers if possible. All right, let's go over to Athlon Sports. Let's look at some stuff. Preseason polls, USC, Florida, Michigan, Miami, LSU, Oklahoma, so on and so forth. Let's see where we are at. We are just outside the top 25, or 26 in the country. We got a B- overall, C offense, B- defense, and a B+ on special teams. You go to Heisman Watch. Who is number one? Justin Westerman. So hopefully I can spread and shred defenses all season, and we can really put up a ton of crazy points like we done last season. And we're going to try to give him a little bit harder throws that I think he can handle. We'll see. But then you got the quarterback in Nebraska is on that list, a wide receiver for Texas, a halfback for Virginia Tech, and a quarterback for Purdue. Let's go to preseason All-American list. First teamer, there's Westerman, and I'm just going to quickly go through these. I don't know if we'd have anybody else not on the first team. Second team, there is Isaac Spencer. Second team All-American. Hopefully he can really dominate for us this season. We don't know who's going to get that third impact status. Right now it's just Westerman and coach. It would be great if it was Spencer. Then we have a very good, simple strategy and with our offense just to go to him a lot. Do we got anybody else on the second team? No, we do not. What about the all-conference team? Go to All Big East. So we got Westerman. We got Massey on there, who's going to be backing up now. Spencer, technically, he's going to split duties. We're going to talk about that in the first game, but he's going to split some duties with Heath. But we got Spencer, we got Harley. He's going to be our special teams guy for sure, and our slot receiver now. Then we got Sanders, of course. Who else we got? Anybody on defense? Cornerback David Ford, and that is it for the first team. But on second team, we may have a couple of guys on here. Let's see. So center, Brandon Miller's on there. And our two safeties, so Coach and Waters are on there, along with our kicker. So we got a handful of first and second teamers. Conference outlook, they should have us number one. I can't imagine that anything different. Yeah, so we've won back-to-back conference titles. We're going for a third. They got us number one, but then we got Pitt, Cincinnati, Louisville, Rutgers, West Virginia, South Florida, and then Connecticut at the very bottom. Toughest places to play. I don't know if we'll ever get back in here. I don't know where we're at. We could be, who knows? We could be like in the 30s, we could be 27th or something. We still need to win a bunch of more games, and we may be able to sneak back in here one day. That'd be pretty cool to see. What else we got? Hey, I think we're recruiting now. Let's go to recruiting. So let's talk about our team. Here is our team overview. We are in really good shape in terms of the future. At quarterback, we're good at halfback. We don't have to worry about fullback. We don't use them. Wide receiver, we got 7 guys coming back. Tight end, we got 4 guys coming back. So our offense, in terms of skill players, we are in great shape. Tackle, we got 5 guys, 6 at guard, 3 at center. A lot of dudes coming back next year. And if you go to our roster, this is a little simpler to look at. So look here. So we got 25 freshmen, 22 sophomores, 16 juniors, and only 7 seniors. So next offseason, we're going to put like maybe 25% in recruiting, 55% in training, and then like 20 in discipline. So again, very small class, but we're going to try to be as efficient as possible with this upcoming class and just get the best dudes we can for what little amount of slots that we have left to fill. So when you go back to recruiting, you go back here, look what we need. I don't know if you noticed, and I didn't really talk about this too much, but we're kind of hurting, in my opinion, at defensive end and a defensive tackle in terms of elite players. Now, when it comes to defensive end, we've moved down 1 middle linebacker, but the middle linebackers that we picked up in the offseason, we may be able to move 1 down, but they're not the biggest and strongest dudes, but we'll probably move 1. But I need to find me a couple of good elite defensive ends if possible. Defensive tackles, you can never have enough, and as it shows right here, we actually need at least 1 dude to meet the bare minimum. Outside linebacker, middle, I think we're pretty good there now going forward, but we need some more help at corner, and we're good at free safety and strong safety. So I think we really need to focus at defensive end, a defensive tackle, and maybe try to find an elite corner. So I think I may just go after 3 guys total in the regular season. So imagine if you get all 3 of those guys, you added to that 63 number, that gives you 66. 70 minus 66, that means we only got like 4 spots if nobody left early or transferred out. Can you imagine what little of a recruiting class we would have? But what if we just went after the best dudes we could find for those positions and to kind of fit our needs and that are kind of close to home and such? So again, very small recruiting class coming up. Having said all that, let's recruit a little bit. So again, we're going to go after just 3 guys, maybe at the most, and just really go all in on them during the regular season. But let's look at our pipelines. I don't know if they have changed. We still got, Connecticut is now a pipeline. Interesting. I don't remember us going after that hard, but it looks like we did. Interesting. Okay. Maybe we picked up a couple Connecticut dudes in the offseason. I just don't remember. So that is a pipeline, which is cool. Florida is no longer a pipeline, as it shouldn't. That's just too far for us. It was at one point, if I'm not mistaken. We keep on going. Maryland is a pipeline, and it needs to stay as one. That has been a great pipeline for us. We also have New York will definitely be one. That is our home state, as you see, right? New Jersey definitely has to be a pipeline, as you could tell. Just a small bar. A lot of talent comes out of that state. Of course, we got New York, and Pennsylvania is technically our number 1 pipeline, and there it is. A lot of great talent comes from there. And that should be it in terms of the pipelines. We can just check to make sure, and I think that is it. I think I kind of wanted Virginia as a pipeline at one point, but I think we're kind of okay without it. So what we're going to do is go find defensive ends, defensive tackles, and corners. I'm still going to fill up all 12 spots, and let's go after the 3 best ones that we can find. So what we're going to do actually is, instead of looking at our pipelines, I'm going to go over straight to defensive end first. And we're going to go to all. And let's just see if we can find what we're looking for. So we are a 4-3 Tampa 2 defense. I need some speed at the edge. So what we can do is go to pipelines and find speedsters that are at least somewhat decent size. And this guy's a perfect example. He's a pipeline kid, 4.65, great speed, good enough. And it looks like he's a top 50 player, and it looks like he's strong enough. But 250 pounders, this guy just fits exactly what we're looking for. So we're definitely going to put one on him. Let's keep going. Here's a New Jersey kid. Runs a 4.69, a little slower, but that's still fast enough. And looks like he's just as strong as these guys. So I think this guy would fit the bill perfectly as well. We keep on going. We got some other dudes. Like, they don't have to be pipeline kids. We just tend to have a better chance. Like, this kid would be awesome to have. Runs a 4.56. He's just not as strong as the other ones, but he's just much faster. Let's go find another defensive end. Do we have any other pipeline dudes? Just never know. Here's a New York kid. Okay, so this is an interesting 6'5", 215. Normally, I just don't like going after somebody that small. We need some guys who are stronger, and this guy's just not strong enough to do what we need right there. He's fast enough. He looks like an outside linebacker, so let's just keep going. We're getting down to the very bottom. I'm not seeing anything, so what I may do is go back to the very top and just see if I have missed anybody that I feel like just really fits the bill that we could take at least a chance on. Like, here's another 4.65 kid out of Louisiana. I don't know if we'd have a chance. We could try. 4.69. Here's, see, Ohio, 4.55 or 5.55 on the squat. This kid out of Kentucky looks to be about the same. Yeah, they're like the exact same player. I think those two are the most important that I care about for now. So let's just move on to defensive tackle. Strong, big, very simple what we need here. Let's see if we can find anybody that looks the part that's kind of close to where we're at. Here's a kid out of a local kid, 6'5", 275. I'll go ahead and try him. He's a 4-star, so it ain't going to hurt to go after him. Here's a Pennsylvania kid, 3-star, 290, 620 on the squat, C+. I don't mind taking a chance on him. And that's pretty much it for pipelines. We got a couple guys down here. A couple New Jersey guys, 285, 295. This guy's much stronger than on the 605. So I may just take a chance on this guy. 440, 640, 280. Again, just look for strength and size. Like, this kid right here would be an ideal fit out of Virginia. I think I may put one on him, because weight does matter in this game. 620. Here's some 640s. Illinois, a little small, but he's pretty smart too. Let's go ahead and put one on him for now. Here's some more guys. Just make sure that, like, this kid right here would be a really good fit. He's all the way down in Mississippi, though, so I don't know if we'd have a chance. But it'd be worth giving a shot, at least. His bench is pretty good, too. Let's go ahead and just put one on him. Looks like the strongest dudes of the bunch is just like this kid right here out of Tennessee, Goodlettsville, 670 on the squat, almost 290 pounds. Let's just back off on him for now. Let's go to corner. That's another pressing need for us. The only other thing I may do for defensive end is go find a pipeline kid that really looks like he could be a future defensive end. We may try that after we look at corner. So corner, very simple. I need speed. I need smarts, but I need height more than anything else. Like, this kid out of California would be a perfect fit, 6'4", 175. But let's just go and see if we can find any. Here's a local kid, 4'2", pretty smart. He's not the tallest, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a shot. I mean, he's a top 50 player. Got to. Ohio kid, 5'11". New Jersey kid, 6'3", 185, 4.35. Yes, we'll do that. Here's a Connecticut, 6'3", 185, 4-star. Yep. And we got one spot left. Here's a Pennsylvania kid, 6'2", 180, 4.33. I may have to say yes. And here's another Pennsylvania kid. Looks like they're the exact same dude. 5'11". This kid's 6'2". So let's go ahead and put a flyer on him. So if you notice, we're going after 4 corners, 6 defensive tackles, and 2 defensive ends. I may need to back off and go after another defensive end possibly. Or I could back off one of those defensive tackles and go find another middle linebacker. So let's go do that. Let's go back to defensive tackle. Let's go actually our targets. Let's go to All-State and go all the way down here. And it puts in order who's the best of the bunch. So we got a New Jersey kid, a kid out of Virginia. Let's see. I honestly like this kid more than this kid, so I'm going to take it off the Jersey kid. What about this kid right here? 6 feet, 290. 5'01", 460, 620. out of Pennsylvania. I'm going to take it off of one at least. What matters the most? This is not a pipeline. I like this kid actually fits the bill of the bunch, but let's just go after one of the pipeline guys. So yeah, let's just take it off him. So that gives us one scholarship left. I'm going to go over to middle linebacker. And let's see if we can find one that fits what we're looking for. I need big, strong dudes. I'm thinking future defensive end. So 6'5", 228, 680, that's pretty good. We got anybody else? New Jersey, so 5'11", 240. This kid would do good. I'm not worried about height too much there, but he's a 240 pounder. He really looks the part. Let's keep going. 6'4", 240. This kid right here, I think he is a future defensive end. Manuel Holt. I'm going to go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. He really looks the part. We got anybody else? Here's a Maryland kid. That's a pure middle linebacker there, really small. Here's another 6'4", 240 kid, Michael Cole out of Pennsylvania. So 405, 670. 405, 670. So what I may do is, he's another 4-star. I'm going to go back to my targets. If I can get to it. I normally don't recruit this way, but we're only going after just a few different positions. So when it comes to corner, I may drop another dude. Like we may drop another defensive tackle. It sounds like this kid just doesn't fit the bill, so I'm going to take it off of him. Let's go back to that middle linebacker that we saw. Come down here. He was a kid out of Pennsylvania. Just make sure it's down here, I think. So here's another dude. Look, exact same thing. 2 Pennsylvania 4-star kids. 6'6", 240, 6'4", 240. Same bench, same squat, same speed, same everything. So just kind of go after which one you think you got a chance on. This guy's a little bit Michael Cole, Jordan Floyd. It doesn't matter. We'll just go after probably one of them. So let's just go after the Floyd kid. He's a little taller, maybe that 2 inches on a height, maybe just enough to tip a pass one day. You just never know. All right, so we're down to 0 scholarships. We're going to back out. We're going to go to play week. We're going to sim the week. Shouldn't take too long. There's only like a couple of games. And then we're going to look at recruiting, and we're going to go after about 3, maybe 4 guys. We'll just say, so let's go over there and go find guys that really fit what we're looking for. Technically, everybody that we put a scholarship on fits what we're looking for, but I'm going to look for a positive pitch. That gives us an obvious chance of getting him. Do we have any positive pitch out of the gate? Corner. Nope, I don't see a positive pitch on any of these guys. So we're going back up to the very top. I'm not overly worried about where we're starting at interest level. We can be down the very bottom. If you put 33% of your points on a dude, you're going to shoot up pretty quickly. We need to find, I think, a couple of defensive ends, or at least one of them. I think this kid right here, I think would just go really fit well with what we're doing. And this kid right here would, that way we wouldn't have to move down one of those middle linebackers. But I may just go after one. I'm going to go after one defensive tackle and one corner. So let me look at these middle linebackers. Did we go after 2, or how many did we go after? Let's look at these 2 middle linebackers. Let's go after one of them. Again, this is a future defensive end. So 6'4", 240, 405, 670. Pretty smart. This guy looks to be exact same, but we're at the very top of his list, which gives us a bit of a boost. I'm not going to lie, and it's a crucial pipeline stay for us. I think it's a good idea to go after this guy. Again, future defensive end. Let's just go and put 30. Let's do 25 for now. I may go after 4. Let's just do 25 for now. All right, so let's look at the corners, see what we need to go after. So Eric Winston, he's a local kid, really fast. We're right up his list. Top 50 player. I wish he was a little bit taller. You go to this guy, 6'3", 185. He's not as smart, but he's much stronger too. And we're right at the top of his list. And he's not as fast. I don't need super speed there. I need guys who are tall who can jump. So here's a 41-inch vertical. That's just a 40-inch. So this guy's got a better jumping ability, and he's much taller. So let's go between Spinner, and I think we went after another guy. Here's a couple other corners. Let's look at this guy right here. David Joyner, 4'3", 6'3", 185, same thing as the other guy. And then Alfonso Novak, 4'3", C+, 6'2", 180. So I think it'll be between David Jordan and Zach Spinner. I'm going to guess Spinner needs to be the guy. He's much stronger. 240, 215. This guy only has 350 on the squat, and this guy's got 385. So he's just much stronger. They're the same height, same weight. He's at a B, he's at a B, but we're at the very top of this guy's list. I think it's pretty clear we're going to go after Spinner. So let's go put 25 on him. Next up, I'm going to try one of these true defensive ends. Do I go after this guy? 4'6'9", but 570 on the squat, 380, C+. This guy's a little bit stronger and a little bit faster. A little bit bigger, too. Let's go after this one. Let's go 25 here. And then, last but not least, let's go after a defensive tackle. We're going out. I see 4 of them here. Let's go pick one. Apparently, this guy's the best of the bunch, Charles Harris, but we'll see. So 6'5", 275. He's tall, which is good. I wish he was a little bit heavier. The biggest thing here is squat. I need guys who could push some dudes around. So 620 there. 640. And this guy weighs 324 pounds, but he's out of Mississippi. It may be tough to get him. So I'm okay with actually just downgrading him. If we was up much higher, we probably would have a little bit better chance. But I'm okay with just bypassing him. So what about this kid? 640 and is 440 on the bench. 455. 6'5", 275. 5'11", 280 out of Illinois. I think as of now, this guy still looks the part out of New York, local kid, Charles Harris. The other one is this kid right here, Rob Roode. 290, but only 620, and we're kind of down on his list a little bit. I think we'll go after the Harris kid. I think he looks the best of the bunch, and we got a little bit of a boost just because we're already up at the top of his list anyway. So that's what we'll go with. Let's put 25 on him. So we'll just go after 4 for now, which means, again, if we get all 4 of those guys to commit, that number goes up to 67. Which means we only got 3 spots to fill. So next year in the offseason, I could put my recruiting budget down to like 15%. As long as we get about 4 or 5 incredible players there, then I think we'll be good, because I try my best not to over-recruit, but sometimes you can't help it. So in summary, we're going after Leroy McGrew, defensive end out of Maryland. Cornerback Zach Spinner out of New Jersey, Pipeline kid. Of course, this guy's a Pipeline kid as well. Then you got defensive tackle, local kid Charles Harris. And then last but not least, we're going to go after this massive individual at middle linebacker, Jordan Floyd, future defensive end. Again, we're good at middle linebacker. We got plenty of bodies there, but this guy could be a future defensive end for us. Or if we got plenty of talent at defensive end, he could play middle. Either way, it's a good position to be in. So I'm really excited about all 4 of these guys. And you know the difference here, it's all defensive players. That's our biggest weakness right now going forward. I think we're locked down on offense. We need to shore up the defensive line and the front 7 in general. And we also need another good body at corner, which it looks like we can get one, hopefully with this guy right here and Zach Spinner. All right, so in our next video, we have Virginia. Out of the gate, going to be a good one. Hopefully we can get the win. It'll be a tough one. They got more talent than we do. They're a B overall. We're finally at a B-. We've been at C+, I feel like forever. But we're moving up slowly but surely. I'm just excited to see what we can do here and just get Season 3 started. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.